Hi there, this is Vahid from VRF Education channel and welcome to another video on Qt Framework Programming. In this session, we are going to learn how we can create a Qt chat application with TCP/IP protocol. In previous sessions, I've talked about network programming and using UDP as the protocol in order to communicate between different applications. In this session, we are going to focus on a secure way to connect to a server, and that's TCP. If you want to have a secure and trusted channel to another computer or another device, you should use TCP. It's going to guarantee that your data will be received correctly at the other point. Today we are just focused on transferring text messages between applications. As you can see here, we have a server application and a couple of client applications, and when a client connected or disconnected to the server from the server, some messages will be appeared inside this list, and on each client connection we have a new tab inside this tab widget, so we can communicate in two ways between server and client. And also in next session I'm going to show you how you can use this application to send file between client and server, and also some other features such as is typing status in the chat box. I'm going to add it also in the next session. So today we are going to see how we can create a server. Server should listen on a port, and I assume that you already know the basic of TCP/IP protocol and the roles inside this protocol. And I'm gonna tell you some details about this protocol during the video. So we need to create a server. We use QTcpServer class here, and also after server start and listen on a specific port, we can use QTcpSocket on client applications to connect to that machine and that specific port. So when we connect to a server, a channel will be created between client and server, so we can communicate between these two applications. Let's go and see a demo of what we're going to create at the end of this session, and then after that we will go to Qt Creator and start creating this application with some UI customization from scratch. And also I'm gonna add the repository for this application to the video description, so you can download it and work with that on your machine. Okay, let's see what we have at the end of this session. As I told you, in this session we just focus on transferring text message, simple text message between server and clients. So here we have one server application and 3 clients. So these 3 clients are going to connect on a specific port to the server, and server right now listening on that port for receiving incoming connections. So if I use options menu and connect, as you can see, it says a new client connected to the server, and it attached ID1 to that client and a new tab created for that specific client. And if I just use this one, client 2, you can see here again I have another window here, another tab, and it says another client connected, and also for the second one, for the third one, we again have another window. So I'm gonna say hello from client 1, and if I press send, you can see message received here as a simple item, and here we show the message sent to the server in a list widget, and I can send some message here to the client here, hello from server. And if I press send, you can see again we received a server message and the alignment is somehow different. And also we can send message for this one, hello from server 2, send. So you can see the message here, and also you can send message for the third one, hello from server 3, send. So message also received, and we attached a time stamp to each message. And also I'm going to say hello from client 3, send. As you can see, message only appeared inside the list widget inside this tab, the tab for third client. So this is the way that this chat gonna work. And if I just close one application, for example, I'm gonna close this one. Again, it says client disconnected with the ID of 3, and the things inside here gonna disable. So I think it's better to disable just this part, because maybe we want to scroll this list widget to see what kind of message we pass to the server before that. And also if we disconnect this one and disconnect this one, all the clients disconnected, and we can use this button. Well, right now I didn't write any code behind this button, but you can disconnect all the servers, all the clients. So these are all getting disabled. Now in this session I'm gonna change it to disable this part maybe. So this is the thing that we have at the end of this session: a simple chat application between server and client with some good style and good look and feel. Okay, let's go to Qt Creator and see how we can create these two applications. Okay, let's start with server application. So I'm gonna create a server project, widget application project inside this directory, chat application, and build system is QMake. I'm okay with that. So it's the main window, and I'm gonna let it as it is in the language now. So and the kit is Qt 6.4 and just a 64-bit. So that's it, and finish. So here we are, and first of all we need to add network capability inside our .profile network. So I'm going to tell we're going to work with network and run QMake. In order to recognize, we are going to do network programming. That's so here we need to create a QTcpServer instance and waiting for incoming connection on a specific port. We can do it inside our main window or our GUI part, but it's not recommended. I'm going to create another class named Server Manager and do all the things related to connections and clients inside that specific class. And maybe in the next session I'm going to change it. I don't have any idea about next session. I'm just talking about right now. So I'm going to create another class, C++ class. The name is Server Manager. So I'm going to change these names also. And it's going to inherit from QObject because I'm going to use some signals inside it and also receive some signals from clients. So that's it. Now, here inside the private section, let's assign it for fields, and I'm going to also create another private section for methods. Let's also add QTcpServer header file. So I'm going to create QTcpServer. Then it's a pointer, so I'm going to create it when the server manager class instantiated. So here I'm going to also create a method named setup server. Let's add implementation for that. And here inside the constructor I'm going to say call setup server, and I forgot to add a port inside the server manager. I'm going to receive a ushort for port, and the default is 4500. Oops. And also I'm going to send it as a parameter to setup server. And let's also add this one here. So it's that's it. And inside the setup server I'm gonna say, first of all, go ahead and create an instance of this pointer. So it's a QTcpServer class. Let's pass this as a parent of this class. And the next one, we need to wait for server dot listen on a specific port and on an interface. So I'm going to say go ahead and listen for any IP address on any interface that's installed on my current machine and on this port 4500. That's it. And before that I'm going to do another thing. When we receive a new connection, we need to handle that. So here we need to create a slot here inside this part I'm going to say private slots. First of all, it says void new client connection received. I'm going to name it something like this. And here I'm going to say, okay, connect server, oops, this one, and the signal is QTcpServer new connection, and connect it to the slot on my current class. The name was new connection received. That's it. So let's also implement it. What should we do inside this client receive? First of all, I'm gonna receive the pending connection from the server and add it to a list. So that list may be in future gonna help us. And then I'm gonna notify the other part of the application, the GUI part, that a connection received. Go ahead and create a tab for that. So here I'm gonna say auto client, it's equal to server dot next pending connection. So I'm gonna receive the next pending connection, the connection or the client that is waiting for connect to me. And let's also create a list of QTcpSocket. The name is underlying clients. Let's also bring the header file for that. And I'm going to say first auto ID equal to clients underlying clients dot length. And let's add this client to our client list. So I'm going to say I'm going to attach this ID to our client as a property, and then I'm going to create a signal. The name is new client connected, and I need to pass the QTcp socket that I already received with this signal. So here I'm going to say emit new client connected, and pass this client instance with that. And also I'm looking for this client if it's disconnected from the server, so I can do some appropriate things. So I'm going to say connect this new client, and the signal is disconnected. Let's attach it to a slot inside my server manager class, and I'm going to say it on client disconnected, on client disconnected. Now let's also create another slot here, private, not private, void on client disconnected. Here I need to do what? First of all, I'm gonna cast the sender to QTcpSocket. So I'm gonna use QObjectCast, QObject object cast the sender. Cast it to what? To QTcpSocket and a pointer to this class. And after that, I'm gonna grab the ID from this client because I attached it already on new client connection received slot, client.property ID, and I'm going to cast it to int. And well, we don't need to do anything with this ID, right? Yeah, we don't need to do anything. and I'm gonna say underline client dot remove one, remove one, and pass the client. I'm gonna remove this client from the clients list, and we need to also notify the GUI or the other part of the program that this client is connected. So I'm gonna create another signal here, void client disconnected, and again pass this as a parameter. So emit client disconnected, where is it? Client disconnected, and pass the client as a parameter, client. So that's it. We just do what we need to have already for our server manager. Now let's go to main window. Here we need to do a couple of things. First of all, let's add a group box, and here the title is clients, and I'm gonna add a list widget as you saw it inside the presentation, and also a button, and we will use this button here. So it's disconnect all, disconnect all, and also we had another group box here, and a tab widget. We have a tab widget here inside the container tab widget. So that's it, and I'm gonna align them. So let's also change the portion dedicated to each part. I want this part to occupy 3 out of 4 part, and this one just occupy 1 out of 4. So we can use layout stretch and pass their portion of the space into this format. So I'm gonna also remove these two, page 1 and 2, and also I'm gonna delete. So we have a empty tab widget here. Based on each client connection, we add another tab here. So let's also TP chats, change their UI things, and this is also LSD clients, BTN, disconnect all, and also let's change these names, group GRP chats, and this one is GRP clients. So that's okay for right now, and I'm gonna create an instance of our server manager here, server manager. So let's create an instance of server manager inside our main window. I just gonna say server manager equal to new server manager, and I'm gonna let the port to the default value. That's it. So I forgot to also create a section for my methods, private methods. Here I have setup server method again. Let's move this part to that and just call it setup server in the constructor. So here I need to do 2 things: looking for new connection, and also when they disconnected. So I'm gonna say connect server and look for server manager dot new client connected, and pass it to what? to one instance here, and also I will create a bridge soon. And also the next one is on client disconnected, on client on client disconnected, not on client disconnected. So we need to attach it to two slots in our main window class. Let's get here inside this part, private slots. We have two port, new client connected, and it's going to receive a QTcp socket instance, and also client disconnected. Again, it's gonna receive an instance of a QTcp socket. So let's attach them here. I forgot to implement them. So this is a new client connected and client disconnected. These are the two methods that we need to work with. So whenever I get a new connection signal, and the name also is incorrect, let's change it to new client. Okay, that's it. Let's check this one. New yeah, disconnected client, yeah, these are true. So I'm gonna create another widget and add it as the main widget for my tab widget. But before that, here, let's do something. I'm gonna say, first of all, let's do what? I'm gonna grab that ID from the client property, get the ID to me, and cast it to integer. And I'm gonna add something to lst clients.add item. It's a string, and it says new client added, and the ID will be this one. Now after that, let's create that widget. I'm gonna use again QDesigner form class, and this time I'm gonna create a widget, not a dialog or a window. The name is chat client chat widget. Okay, or we can just say it's chat widget, because maybe I'm gonna add it to that's client chat widget. That's better. Here I'm gonna add a list widget, a button for send, and a line edit, and just a label. So this label is message. This is ln message. This one is btn send, and this one also is lst messages. So let's grab them and lay out them horizontally and lay out the whole port vertically. We also need to receive a client, because this chat widget gonna work with a client or a QTcp socket. So I'm gonna inject it through the constructor and say you need to work with this client from now on. So here I'm gonna receive QTcp instance, QTcp socket instance, QTcp socket underline, I'm gonna name it client. So here inside this section I'm gonna save it, QTcp, and in the constructor here I'm gonna say initialize the underlying client, our field with our arguments. Oops, I forgot to remove. So that's it. And in the constructor, I'm gonna connect the ready read signal of QTcpSocket to a slot inside this widget. So I'm gonna say first let's create a private slot section void data received, and here let's build application to get rid of these ridiculous warnings. So that's okay. Now QTcpSocket, let's say what? Yeah, we need to cast it to point. So I'm gonna say connect from underlying client and ready read signal to this and what, and ampersand client chat widget data received a slot. Inside it, right now I'm gonna say just grab the data from the client, we just need to use read all, and I'm gonna add it to lst message.add item that. So that's, and also inside this button collect signal, I'm gonna say underlying client dot write something through this client to the other part. UI dot ln message dot text dot trimmed dot to UTF-8. We need to pass it as as a qubit array, so UTF-8 gonna do this for us. And after that I'm gonna say UI dot ln message dot set text to an empty string. That's it. So when we create this one, we need to get back to our main window, and on each client connection received, I'm gonna create a chat widget. It's equal to new client chat widget, and I'm gonna also add the header file and pass this client as a parameter for that. And after that I'm gonna say UI dot tb chats dot add tab, and pass this chat widget as the first parameter and a string, the name or the title of the tab. I'm going to say client .org ID, and pass the ID as the client with the ID as the title of the tab. And when we want to do what? Let's do something else here. I'm gonna get back here and morph this horizontal layout to a Q widget. So I'm gonna name it WDG send. So that's it. And I'm gonna add a method inside this public area, void let's do this here. I'm gonna say void inside the stop void client disconnected, and here in the constructor I'm gonna duplicate this one and set if client is connected, go ahead and call client is connected signal, and inside it I'm gonna say UI.w digisend.set enabled false. So I'm not gonna disable all the widget. I'm just gonna disable this part so we are not able to send anything over this disconnected client. And let's get back to main window. Inside here we just need to again grab the ID and also this one. We're gonna say client disconnected. That's it. We don't need to do anything else. I think that's enough for server part for right now. We have a lot to do inside the server application, but for the time being it's enough. Okay, let's go to create a client and connect and try to connect to this one. Let's run it to see if everything is just fine. We'll be waiting. Yeah, we have a client, a server application now, so let's change the title to server, and that's it. Okay, that's it. Let's go to the other Qt window and create client application. Okay, now let's create a client application. Again, inside the chat application folder, I'm going to create a QWidget application and let the setting as default. So that's okay for me. So here inside it, again, we need to add network inside our profile and run QMake one more time. That's it. And just as the server, I'm going to create a client manager class here to manage the connection to the server and also receiving data. It's useful when we want to receive files. Again, we need to manage it, so we need to do it inside our client manager class. So I'm gonna create a C++ class. The name is client manager, and for this session we just focus on receiving simple text, but in next session we have to do a lot with this class. So here we need to specify which the address and the port of the server. So I'm gonna receive it from the inside the constructor, and also let's add QTcp socket here. We need to use a socket to connect to our server. Q host address, and I'm gonna use localhost as a default value, but you need to specify the real address if your server is located on another machine. And also I'm gonna use equal to 4,500, and let's also create a TCP socket here, TCP socket underline client. I'm gonna save the IP address. It's not necessary, but let's save it. Well, I'm gonna save it. Maybe. So if we disconnected from the server by any means, we need to connect it one more time, and maybe we need to add a reconnect method. So it's better to have these values, but it's unnecessary, I think. Well, I just save them. Now let's get back here. Oops, we forgot to apply the function changed, and I'm gonna say, okay, go ahead and save IP address and also port. So here I'm going to say underline, let's rename it to socket, not clients. Socket. It's a socket and we want to connect through it to the server. Socket equal to an instance of QTcpSocket, and I'm going to pass this as the parent. Well, I need to do what? I need to connect 3 different signals inside QTcpSocket to slots in my class. Well, connected, disconnected, and ready read. These are the signals that I'm looking for. Let's connect them and see what we have. Socket, QTcpSocket connected, and attach it to this client manager. So I'm going to duplicate it. Oops. I'm going to bots. A couple of times. I forgot to add the ampersand, and also we need to delete these ones. So this is disconnected, and this is also ready read when some data received. I'm gonna do a couple of things. So I'm gonna create a slot name connected, and also disconnected, and ready read also. Ready read. That's it. So let's get back here, and inside what? Inside the slot. Void ready read. And I don't have to do anything with those signals connected and disconnected, so I'm gonna just create another signal here and pass it as signal to the other part of the application where they are looking for. So I'm gonna create some signals: connected, disconnected, and right now that's okay. So let's also add implementation. Yeah, we implemented right now. So what's happened? Connected and disconnected. What does it say? Disconnected is a member, isn't it? Disconnected. So that's. And inside the ready read, I'm just gonna receive the data and pass it to the other part of the application. So I'm gonna create another slot here, void data received. It's gonna contain a qbyte array of data right now, and in future we're gonna change the type of the data received. Sometimes we have text data or raw data, sometimes we have file, or we might have some notification about doing some activity on the other side. For example, server is typing. So I'm gonna create an enum, and well, let's do it in the next session. I'm gonna change it a little bit. So here we just need to do what? Auto data equal to underline socket dot read all. I'm gonna read all the data from the socket, and right now I'm gonna pass it to other part of the application. Emit data received and pass it. So it's very obvious for right now, but in future I'm gonna change it a little bit here. And also we need to create a method, a public method, to let the UI have the option to connect this client manager to the server. So I'm gonna say we have a method named connect to server, and here I'm gonna say underline socket dot connect to another host connect to host, and underline IP and underscore port. So that's it. And also let's add another method, void send message. It's going to receive a string, and I'm going to write it over this socket, underline socket dot write data that can convert message and convert it to UTF-8. So that's it for our client manager class. Now let's go to our UI. So let's first of all change the title to client. Before we forgot, clients, it's very important. And I'm gonna add a menu. The name is option, and here we have a connect item, a separator, and an exit menu. So let's go to connect slots, trigger slot for connect action menu, and here inside the header file we're going to say we have a client manager instance here. Let's also finish this part. Okay, I'm gonna add a group box here and add a list widget inside it. Just like the server, I'm gonna add a label, a line edit, and a button here. Let's also change their values and names. LSD messages, and so that's enough. Let's also put them together inside a horizontal layout and add all of them to a vertical layout. So this is our UI part. Now I'm gonna say what? Let's get back here. Inside the constructor, I'm gonna say UI dot central widget that's set enabled false. I'm gonna disable anything on the window, and after connecting to the server I'm gonna enable them. So I'm gonna say underline client here, underline oh, we forgot to declare it. So I'm gonna instantiate it, client equal to a new instance of client manager, and we already set the default data for the parameters, so that's okay. And I'm gonna call it client dot connect to server. That's it. And before that, I'm going to say connect client. Oops. Signal is connected, and I don't want to create another slot here. I'm just going to use lambda expression or lambda functions here, pass it in the capture event part, and say UI dot central widget dot set enabled true. Whenever we connect it to the client, I'm gonna set it to true, the central widget, so everything gonna be enabled. And also in disconnected, I'm gonna set it to false. And after that, let's create a slot here. We need to have a slot, void data received. Here we have qbyte array data, and I'm gonna connect. Let's also paste it. It's a pain in the neck to write this code. I do really hate this connect mechanism. Data received and data received. So that's it. And let's see what we should do inside the data received part. So for right now, I'm going to say UI.lstMessage.add item data. That's it. And also let's get back here. I'm going to say what? Client auto message equal to ui.lnMessage.text.trimmed. Okay. And I'm going to say underline client or client dot send message, this message, and I'm going to add it to ui.lstMessages.add item message, and after that ui.lstMessage dot ln message dot set text to an empty string. So that's it. And I'm gonna add chat widget, chat item widget for our list widget in order to somehow customize it for our message and the server message to distinguish between the messages who sent what. So let's waiting for the application to be okay. That's it. So let's now run the application and see the result. First of all, I'm gonna run the server. So here we have the server, and let's run client. So this is our client, and let's get back this one. I'm gonna connect to server. So that's it, a new client added, and this is client 1. Maybe I forgot to close parentheses. Let's send some messages. Hello from client 1, and send it. So message appeared here, and I'm gonna also send hello from server and send it. So it's appeared here, but I forgot to add it to this part, so that's okay. It's not important right now. Let's run another window. It's a second client. I'm gonna connect it. Yeah, here we have another client tab. You can see we just add it, instantiate and add it to our tab dialog. We don't need to just write all of them inside the code and create all the thing and layout inside the code anymore. So I'm gonna say hello from client 2, and also here you can see client 2 added and sample message. That's it, send it. So here we have it inside the client 2, and if I closed it, you can see client disconnected, client 1, and if I get back here, you can traverse over the list widget items, but this part get disabled. And also if I disconnect this one, again this one also disconnected. So let's also handle this part to have not this part. Inside the client, I'm gonna create a widget named chat item widget, and let's do it. I'm gonna add it here, add new item. Here we have again QDesignerForm class. I'm gonna create another widget. The name is chat item widget, and let's change the name. So inside the chat item widget, I'm gonna add 2 labels. One label for the message and the other one for the timestamp. So I'm gonna say one label, and the other one it should be the message and it's the time. something like WhatsApp application. So I'm gonna align them horizontally, and I'm gonna set it to right alignment. So that's it. So let's set this is LBL message, and this is LBL time. So, and here I'm gonna create a method named setMessage. Let's add it, void setMessage message, and it's just gonna receive QString message. And another parameter, as you remember inside the demonstration or the demo, we have two types of messages. Our message will be aligned from the right, and the server message aligned from the left. So I'm gonna add an argument here. The name is my message or not, and the default is false. So I'm gonna say UI.l. Let's build it. Okay, UI.lbl message dot set text to message. That's okay. And also UI.lbl time dot set text to numbering code Q date time. Oh, we can use Q date time, but let's current date time dot to string, and I just need to use hour and minutes. That's it. And also, if check if is my message, I'm going to say UI.lbl message dot sets alignment alignment q dot alignment right align right. That's it. Now let's get back to our main window. Here, when we just received a message, where's data received. So I'm gonna create a chat widget. It's equal to new chat item widget, and pass this as a parent included also. So I'm gonna say chat widget dot set message that. So we don't need to add it directly to our LM message. And I'm going to say auto list item widget. It's equal to new QList item QList widget item list widget item. We need to set size for it, or size hint. List widget that set size hint q size, for example 0, and height 65, and we're going to add it to our LST message that add item. This time we need to add list widget item list item widget, I'm sorry. And after that I'm going to say list widget let's set background, and I'm going to use a very cool green for the server messages. This is the code, and you can use any color that you want. And finally I'm going to say UI.lstmessage.set item widget. For this list item widget, you need to use chat widget. That's it. Okay, this is it. Let's run the application and see the result. And also let's bring the server application. So this is the server and this is the client. So I'm going to connect to the server. So that's it. I need to pass some data. Here you can see we have this widget, the message, and also the timestamp. Another one, and also let's add something. Here we don't have that widget. We need to apply it also to our send method. Let's do what? Get back to our client application. Here, let's for now just copy this line and and I need to replace it by this one. So again, we have a chat item. Here we have the message, and also true, this is my message, and we don't need this background anymore. So that's it. And also I'm gonna create another private method to handle this situation instead of copy and paste it into different places. So let's connect it to the server, and well, I close the server. Let's run it. So I'm gonna connect it one more time. Yeah, the client updated. MSG1 send, that's true, and client message send. So you can see our message will be right aligned, and we have timestamp here, but for the server we have message, and that's it. So this is the way that you can customize your list widget for some chat application, something like this. So that's enough for this session, and in next session we're going to see how we can add file transfer capability to this application, and also some other features such as for example, server is typing right now. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the content. Until next session, goodbye.